Alrighty, we got Abacoa Golf Club. Pac-Man getting commissioned by somebody to make a tropical golf course of some sort. Maybe Florida. Maybe Bahamas. Pac-Man's usually pretty good at commenting if he sees it. Let's start off on number 1, 355 par 4. Fairway finding little punt and 140 remaining. A tight fade that lands as a tap in. That's how you want to start. Birdie -1. Playing the white tees, 510-yard par 5, second water along the left. That's why you want to go right down the middle of the fairway there. Layup gone a little astray there, and 125 left, cutting over some water for this next one. Looked like a pretty good line, but just comes up short out of the rough, and you're gonna have to chip. And that comes up short. That's a bogey. Birdie, bogey, start. Back to even par. Super weird delay there and a horrible shot. Second shot from 186 is absolute money, though. So saving a birdie there after going straight into a tree. 142, par 3 fourth, sorry. And that's just a little left, leading to a delicate little chip down the hill, which sits up nicely. Still at -1. Let's go to the 5th hole, a par 4, almost 380. Gonna have to hit a fadey little 7-iron around this tree. And I overcooked it just a little bit there, about 10 yards past. The chip saves par, though, and we're moving on to hole number 6, still at -1. Abacoa, as I'm going to call it. Fun little golf course. Got some water. Got some tight fairways. Here's a long par 5 left off the tee, and now hitting back. Into some sort of short wedge range. Pitching wedge in here. Let's see what we can do from 115. Everything about that looked pretty good. And it ends up next to the hole for another birdie. So far, striking the ball well on this round. Feeling good with most clubs so far. Those stats I like. 142 plus 2.5, 14-degree launch. Here's a brave shot that ends up not working out. Going right at the pin. Luckily able to get into that circle for a simple bogey, but Didn't really need to take that direct of a line there. 171. It's going to end up just a little short, but definitely on line. And that's another par. So quickly getting to the 9th hole. A 400-yard par 4. And that's a good line off the tee, just a little to the right, and holds up in the rough. Kind of scared to double cross myself there trying to hit a fade, so it ended up being like an alligator arm little punch shot. And now we go to a chip from 19 yards away. And that's safely in there for another par. So still at -1, going through the turn to the 10th hole. A lot of water there on the left, just trying to steer this one over to the right side of the fairway. Another par 5 as well. Another layup here. I've been trying to just hit this, it's the driving iron. So when I have about 200 yards to go, I've just been grabbing that club and trying to get used to it. The shaft, however, is really stiff, and so I'm getting toe shots and weak contact because I'm just not finding the point in which to attack with that shaft. It's a little stiffer than most of the other things I have. That just means I gotta swing a little harder with it, and probably just change kind of my aiming point because it seems to kick at a different spot. I do practice it quite a bit on this round though. 94 remaining here, and another birdie, so it's a lot of marks on the card. Birdies and bogeys and pars and birdies and bogeys. Another birdie there on 11, and we go to 12, sitting at -2. .162 remaining. That looks left all the way, and it is just a little short as well, but safely on the green and a par. Staying at -2. 178, a tough yardage for me, and thankfully able to carry it 178 and getting over into this bunker. Bunker shot out for 2, and that comes up short. So a bogey on 13 brings it to -1. Still a good round intact. Those of you who watch the channel might be waiting for the 17th and 18th hole, because that's when I tend to put up some big numbers after a pretty decent round for 16 holes. So we'll see if that happens again here at Abacoa. Good bounce onto the green there for a par on 14, so holding it together so far. 150 yard, and I don't think I hit it 19 degrees into out, but maybe came a little inside. And then duffed the chip just a little bit to get a bogey and get back to even for the first time in a while. The 16th hole, still a chance to make this right. Hit a massive pop-up right off the top of the driver. See me trying to fix that. 187 long ways. Hitting that driving iron though, and that's good contact right there. Took a little off of the swing actually, and able to square it up with some really good flight path there. Trying to get the Garmin to recognize the chip, and then it runs out just a little bit too long. And we are now above par at +1. Here's where things get interesting. 17th hole. Playing with the water and the only trees that might be in your way on this par 5. And out of the rough for some reason, I think
Did I go for it? Between the trees, hero shot? I think yes.
Hero shot? Who do I think I am? Past self, don't do it! Just completely came out of it. It had no chance to get there. And it's wet. So then it gets even better, because then I grab a hybrid I like, but somehow that came off a little right also. And that's wet. So imploding on the 17th hole. This is for a bogey if it goes in 76 yards. And it's a good shot, but it's outside the gimme circle. It's going to be a triple bogey. So from -2 to +4 quite quickly. Then on the very next hole, hoisting the drive up in the air and spinning it into the water. And then trying to do the exact same thing again. I thought, well, I'll just hit a slice in between these trees, and I got really lucky and actually crossed over there, so that one I wasn't actually that mad about. Trying to end in any sort of fashion, and that's going to come up short too. So really bad last couple of holes, but a really good first 16, 15 really, and 4 birdies, a 35 in, 35 out, I mean. So some good stuff to take away, and check out more courses and rounds coming soon.